Hello friends, welcome to AutoBot YouTube channel. Myself Rahul. Today we are going to learn some more advanced version of Flyway. So in our previous video, I have given a brief intro to the Flyway tool, and we discussed about how you need to version the files, and we covered the importance of using the Flyway as part of your data migration. So all these topics we covered as a part of our first video in this playlist, right? So today we are going to learn some more comments about Flyway, and I'm going to show you how you can execute the Flyway comments in real time by setting up the Flyway versions, and how you can use this Flyway properly with a live demo. Okay, so this was the slide that we discussed in our previous session. So just I'm doing a recap. So first let us understand what is Flyway. So Flyway is a reliable migration tool. So for example, if you want to migrate your data or your data objects from one environment to another, you can use a Flyway tool. Okay, so for that I have given some instructions, like you have to properly add a naming convention to the file. Okay, so this is very mandatory for the Flyway to execute. So what you have to do is you have to add the v, and then you have to add the version, it can be with any integer value. Then you have to add to underscore, and you have to give a description for that, and you can create a .sql file. Okay, so for example, if the first version is a v1, then the second should be v2, like that, or you can use a minor number as well, like a v3.1, like that also you can add. Okay, so for this demo I have already installed Postgres in my local environment, and I have installed pgadmin as well. So I already made a configuration to my local Postgres. So if you are not sure how to set up a Postgres and all, you just need to go to any of the browser. You just search for Postgres, download it for Windows. As I'm using a Windows, you just need to install the Postgres in your local. So by default it will ask for the port number, by default mine is 5432. Okay, I'll show you the connection string as well. Okay, so this is my port that I have selected, and the host name will be all usually like a local host, and my database is Postgres. By default it has created a Postgres database. Also the username that I provided was like Postgres. I didn't modify that. Okay, and during the setup it will ask for a password as well. Okay, so that password you need to use here for making a authentication to make a connection to this database. Okay, so after that I created a new database with the name AutoBot. Okay, so for this demo I'm going to use that one. Okay, so if I expand this AutoBot, we are able to see only one schema, that is a public schema, and there are no other schemas. So as part of this demo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new schema here. Okay, so within that schema we are going to create a new table, and as part of a third version we are going to insert some records to that table. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do now as part of the demo. Okay, so let us understand few of other things, this is the first version that I'm going to use. So let me give a file name as well for this. So let me choose v1. Okay, so just consider this is the name that I'm going to give to the file, and for this file I'm going to give it like a add a new table. Okay, this seems to be fine. Okay, and third one I'm keeping like a v3 insert a data to new table. Okay, so I'm going to keep these three files as part of this demo. After that I will show you how you can migrate this. Okay, so before that I have already set up the Flyway in my local. That part we covered in our previous video. So let me show you the Flyway. Okay, you can open up any of the command prompt. Okay, and if you type Flyway -v, okay, why Flyway is not detecting? Okay, 1 minute. Let me go to environment variables. here we have declared the flyway path as well. Okay, flyway 11.6.0. okay, so let me go here and verify whether this path is already present. Downloads. Okay, so this is the reason, like recently I have cleared all the files in flyway, that's why it is not able to identify this path. okay, so let me take this path and see. Okay, so it is not able to recognize this. So what I'm going to do is, let me go to any of the browser. Let me go to flyway download. Okay, I'm going to download from here. Okay, and mine is Windows, right? So I'm going to download this. So it's very easy to set up, like you have to understand your operating system. So mine is a Windows, so you can just search for flyway download. It will give different portals, so you can go to any of the valid portal and download the exe for that. So in my case, I downloaded from the GitHub directly itself, and let it complete. Okay, so let me extract all. Sorry. So this part actually I completed in the last video, but I did a cleanup of my downloads folder, so that's why it got erased again. What I did is I downloaded again the flyway version, and we have to copy this path. Okay, go to the environment variable, you have to go to paths. Okay, so instead of this one, just modify the path. Okay, put the latest path. Okay, and let me open up a new command prompt. Okay, let me give flyway -v. Now it will show you the version of the flyway. Okay, and the location, all this detail, like all this detail, it is showing up here. Okay, the flyway version is 11.17.0, and this is the one that we downloaded just now. Okay, so that part is completed, and here for this demo I have created a folder. So what I'm going to do is, let me go to here and AutoBot. Okay, let me go here, and where is my flyway? Okay, here, and let me do one thing. So for this demo, like we have to use some files, right? So that file I'm going to create under D flyway migrate. Okay, so let me go here, D, and here I have created a folder flyway, and here inside that I have created a folder called migrate. So whatever the files required for this demo, I'm going to keep it inside this particular folder, migrate folder. So let me create a new file. I'm just going to copy this. Okay, paste it here, and the schema name is my schema, and let me save it. Okay, so it's a D folder, and okay, flyway migrate. Okay, so I'm going to keep it like a all type, and this can be, what should be the file name? The file name is very important here, so you have to choose the correct file name. Okay, so let me do one thing, cancel. So let me copy this file name. Okay, so I'm going to save this, save, D drive, flyway migrate, all type. Okay, .sql. So let me save this one. Okay, here you can see it has created a .sql file. Same kind, just copy the next code also. So this is my next code for creating the table, so I'm just keeping it here, and let me copy the file name, and again save as. Okay, here Okay, automatically structured query language only, so I'm just keeping the file name here. Okay, so what is the next script? This is for inserting the data to the employee table within schema. Okay, so let me paste it here, and before to that let me copy the file name also. Okay, save it. So currently we have 3 files which has version with a proper name like a v1 underscore underscore schema underscore creation.sql. Okay, so same kind we have created 3 files. Now we need to check like a few of the commands which Flyway is required to identify like where is the path of this SQL file and how it can make a connection to the DB. Okay, so for that in Windows you have to set it like a set the Flyway URL. So these are few of the variable that you need to set here. So Flyway URL is JDBC PostgreSQL and localhost 5432 and what is the database name. So mine is AutoBot and the port is 5432 and the host name is a localhost, right? And Flyway user is Postgres and the password that you kept it like AutoBot @123 and Flyway location is a file system D Flyway migrate. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me set all these values. Let me go here. Anyway, what I'm going to do is let me try to execute Flyway info command. So it is showing the error like a database AutoBot schema history table does not exist. So as I mentioned earlier, like this history table is required for the Flyway to understand which versions has already deployed and which all versions are pending. Okay, so let me go to our database. Let me go to our schema. Let me refresh, go to public. Okay, here inside a table there should be a Flyway schema history table, so that table is not created. Okay, what I'm going to do now is also here what we can see is the Flyway version files are not showing here, so it means there is a issue with the path that we have provided. Let me do one thing. Let me give, okay, so this should be the problem, like there is a space while we provided the path. So let me remove this path and set it, and let me try to execute Flyway info again. Okay, now you can see it has identified 3 versions of files that we have provided within the path. Okay, now we need to create this Flyway schema history, right? So either we can create it manually or Flyway will do it for you. So what I'm going to do is Flyway migrate info command. So Flyway migrate will help you to deploy all the versions to the database. Okay, so info will give more insight in the console. So let me try to execute this. Okay, so here you can see it has automatically created this Flyway history table creating schema, and it is residing within public schema and the table name is Flyway schema history, and it has first validated what are the versions within that table. There was nothing, so it has migrated all the versions to the Flyway schema history. Okay, and here you can see the state is successful and the description, version, all these details are available here. So let me go back and let me try to refresh. Okay, so here you can see there is a Flyway history table created. So let me try to query here. Select a star from. Okay, so here you can see these are the different details that will get stored in the Flyway schema history. One is installed rank, version, description. Description is nothing but like what are the details that we have given in the file .sql file. Type is .sql and this is the file full file name, and there is a checksum value also created. This is very important. So whenever if you deploy a file via Flyway, it will automatically create a checksum in the table. So just consider if you make any changes to that existing file, it will create a new checksum value. Okay, so at that time Flyway will give you a warning to either repair the change or to revoke the changes. Okay, Then who installed this? We have used the user like Postgres, and they installed the timestamp, execution time, success, what is the status. Okay. So this is how you need to migrate the files using Flyway. Let me do one thing. I will show you like what is the error that I just mentioned about, like if you make any changes to the existing file. Let me try to add one more value here. Maybe Rohan Kumar. Okay, and I'm just setting some email. Okay, so this is my new data, and I have modified this in the existing file. Okay, so whatever the file that is existing, right, I'm going to modify here. Before that, let me go here and let me refresh this schema. It should have created a new schema. Okay, my schema is already created, and within that it should have created a table, and the table name is employee. Let me try to do a select here. Select start from employee, right? So my schema is my new schema and employee is a table name, and here we have 4 records already, and I'm going to insert a new record via the same file. Okay, so this file is already deployed in the schema history, and I'm going to do one more deployment using the same file. So let me try to execute the same command, and let us understand what is going to happen. Okay, now we got an error like apply to database, and this is the existing checksum value, and after we modified that, right, it has created a new checksum value. Okay, so because of that, Flyway got misunderstood, and Flyway is asking us like do we need to re-execute the code or not. Okay, so if I need to re-execute, then I need to execute the repair command, or otherwise I can revert back the changes and I can do the execution. But what you have to understand is like while doing the deployment, Flyway will look into this Flyway history table, and here for version 1 and 2 there was no changes made, right? So it clearly understood there is no changes to the version as well as to the checksum value, so it skipped these 2 files. Okay, so there was a change only made to the 3rd file, that's why it is throwing this error. So to resolve this, what you can do is Flyway repair command. Okay, so it has updated the checksum with the new value. Okay, so that's how you can resolve this kind of issues. Okay, I hope you got a clear understanding about what I mentioned just now about the repair command. Now what I'm going to do is let me go back here, and I'm going to create a new file. Okay, and currently the version is like v1, v2, v3, right? And just consider I'm going to create a file with the 2.1. okay, so let us understand what is going to happen if I create a new file with version 2.1. and let me add only one data here, maybe keep it like a George, John, George, John. Okay, so this is a new record that I'm going to insert, and I'm going to modify the file name as v 2.1. okay, and new table, new record. Okay, so here the version will reside between v2 and v3, right? But the latest version is already deployed. So let us understand how Flyway is going to respond to this Fly version, to this new version. So let me execute a Flyway migrate info. Okay, and here you are getting a warning like to allow executing this migration, you have to set out of order equal to true. What does it mean? So currently by default it will consider only the files with the correct ordered version like a v1, v2, v3, v3.1 like that. But I have created a version with a 2.1 which is out of order, right? So if you still want to go with this migration, what you have to do is you need to set this value. Okay, so I'm just copying this. Okay, Flyway, and I'm setting the parameter hyphen out of order, then migrate info. Okay, so here you can see the state is out of order and it successfully made the deployment. So let me go back, and let me go back to Flyway history table, and here you can see the new version has already deployed, but the status is out of order, right? In the state it has shown like out of order. Okay, so this is how you can add up new versions in your I mean like in your migration folder. Like if you want to make any changes before deploying any versions, right, you can do like this. For example, in our case we have one file called add new table. Okay, so just consider there are some prerequisite before adding this new table. So what you can do here, you can add a new version like v1.1, and you just need to delete these version files and the remaining files and just execute from there. Okay, so it will first execute that v1 dot whatever the version that you have added, and it will deploy the other versions in the database. Okay, so that's how you can make the changes to the table. So hope you got a clear understanding about Flyway, and if you guys have worked with any other tool same like a Flyway, please do mention that in the comment section, and I will try to make some more videos on those tools as well. Okay, so this is very powerful and very useful tool, especially for the data migration from your lower environment to a higher environment. So as a next step, in the next video I'm going to cover, and I'm going to create a very simple pipeline using GitLab, which will help you to give some more clarity on doing the data migration using Flyway from one environment to another. Okay, so the pipeline is very simple. We just need to export some variables, same like whatever we just did now, and I'm going to use the same local database, and I will create one more DB in my system, and I will show you how you can pass different variables to the pipeline and how you can use the Flyway to migrate to different environments. Okay, from dev to SIT to UAT to production, like that. Okay, so thanks for watching the video. Please share to your friends, and please do subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching the video. Bye.